What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Joy of Animating. I'm your host and friend, Skip Marazzi, here with another behind the scenes podcast for Cox in Space. Glad to have you along for the ride. We are getting close to the end of this series as I'm getting close to the end of the animation. So I hope that you are excited as I am. Here, you can always check in with us at coxinspace.com to keep updated with everything that we've got going on, and that's coxinspace.com. You can always check in there and see the first clip that we have up and online, and you can also check out the behind the scenes podcast that we have with Jack Haynes, as he drew all the pages for Cox in Space. Drawing with Jack is the name of those episodes. We had a lot of great guests on in the last year, so I hope that you will check that out and check out kind of like who we are as people. That will give you an idea of whether or not we're part of the Andrew Tate crowd or something closer to a Mr. Rogers with dick jokes involved, if there is, if there is such a thing. It's us. That's what we do here. So you can always check in up there, and if you would like to be a part of the conversation, you can check in and click on our Discord link on the bottom there. Join me on the Discord as I'm working here, live streaming, and also you could join obviously the conversation on live YouTube chat if you would like to, as well as add your commentary there. You could always do that as well. You're always welcome to do that. So, like I said, we are getting close to the end of this. One of the things that has been making me like hesitate and just drag my feet a little bit. Although I should be excited to get here to the end. But yeah, because there's a little bit of work to do. We got to do the adjustment of the sound. We have to adjust everything to a 9:16 format for the camera angles instead of this wide camera angle that I would like to present. But we're doing it for the sake of the reels, as that's a more common format for the way that this is being released. This, of course, is the presentation that we'd be hoping to do for a TV show or on one of the streaming platforms. TV show being the loose term for it, since it's on you might be able to see it on a television or monitor. But that sort of thing, a serial presentation, versus the other option that we might be going, which is more of the breaking it down reel by reel, which is a possibility, I suppose. But yeah, what we would like to do is have this as a syndicated show through one of the major streaming platforms. You can always help us out with that by going to coxinspace.com and continuing the project by clicking on the Join the Crew link there at the bottom, and you could support us through our Patreon with a monthly subscription. We would appreciate that. There are perks involved, of course. We would give you shout outs. And the bigger the donation, the more that we'd be allowing you into the creative process as well, as well as having producers credit. So just so you know. Let's take a look at what we have so far.
I know you got the blues, I know you feel down, but you wanna keep your chin up, kid, so turn it around. I know you got that deep sadness, I know you got it down in your soul. You've been eating your feelings right out of a bowl.
All right, so that's what we got. We definitely want to, with Luna, we're going to add a little hop step to her actions. I believe that is happening here. Do we have Luna doing her thing? Yeah. So there's that rotation she got going on.
I know you got the blues.
Her walking is fine for the dance. It's not fantastic. It'll work for what we're doing here. I think if we add this little hop step, it'll add a little something to it. So let's see if I can figure out where that needs to be in particular. We're in the really meticulous sort of stuff right here. Now, one of the things I want to do, I think I want to have her. I think I want to have her turning her head in some spots, so she's looking at different places in the crowd, and then definitely need to get her mouth moving. That to me has been one of the parts where I'm just like, um, and I really want her to sing, but she doesn't have a beak. She has a jaw, and if you look back here with the beat shot with this cat, that I got the jaw to move like a beak. Um, let's see if this is the one. So she goes, we see her go like meow, and it works fine. But it is so much so beak-like, and that's totally the style of animation that we're doing. So it's not like huge, but she's saying words,
I'm gonna give her multiple O's.
No effect, Peter. Are you shooting blanks?
That joke is Aaron Cosbill's edition, and he's one of the co-writers and co-creators of the show, and he's just so funny. So I'm thankful that both he and Logan Gifford, one of the other co-writers for the show, are on it because they're very funny. I can give you odd and I can give you structure, but they're actually very funny. So I'm thankful that they're on. As we move forward with this project, they're definitely the writing team that I want to move forward with. So um, if there's ever any question, it's on the record. That's my ideal team right there, is working with those two guys. Um, let's do a little hop step here. So we're going to freeze that position, and then we're going to go just a little bit. This is going to be tough because that little bit is really like this. And then like this. And then get like this. And hopefully this doesn't look like total shit. And then we want her to return to the same place that she was. Oops, not like that though, not like that. Need her to return to the same height that she was. I think it's 8:45. Yeah, I'm guessing that's what it is. Nope. Okay. It's been I took the last couple of hours off. I don't know if that's a thing you can say, but in America right now, it seems like that's the best you can do. Um, is that I decided not to do anything in particular with my time. I decided to have free time. Um, the last few hours, I got off work at like 2:30 or something yesterday, and instead of rushing to do all the things I normally do, I decided to not do anything, to just take a break. And then um, I slept in today, and then yeah, that's fun. And then that won't work. I'm gonna have to do it. And then actually, like I fed the cats. I got to fed the cats at like 6, and then went back to bed until like 12 or 1, something like that. So really, like I just decided to not do anything. Like yesterday afternoon, just I watched just a bunch of random TV. I wasn't trying to accomplish anything. I wasn't trying to, take notes on it or anything like that. And then I did practice the guitar because I wanted to stay up on that, just personally, and not lose that. And I did work out, but I intentionally didn't do anything else. And again, in America, that's kind of saying something. You know, we have such a you know, if you're not doing anything, you're wasting time or whatever. Like the hustle is real, and you have to be doing it all the time, and that is pretty unhealthy in my opinion. That's the case, and so deliberately taking things to just like stop and and not do anything and just decide just to like um, just sleep and relax. I think is really really important of a thing to do also. And then it goes really against my nature. I don't really like to do it. But because I like to be productive. I like to get things done, and I like to not to think of myself as like a slug, you know. But I wonder why we have that. Oh, this whole thing. This is probably happening behind the heads of those cocks, isn't it? From this point forward. What's the moment here? 18 seconds, and then in the final push in 18 seconds. Yeah, we cut. So I'm gonna need to get a little hop step in there to see how this even looks.
I know you got the blues, I know you feel down.
Okay, those jumps are a little high, but but it is cute. So let's take a look here and see if I can't get them to be a little less dramatic like that. Um, maybe I'd like to see the trail for. There we go. So I know where I'm at. I'm gonna pull that down just a little bit. So this will pull that down just a little bit. So it's more like a hop, less like a jump. And then we'll do something similar with those here. Which is at there. And we'll make that the spot. Pull forward a little bit. And then pull this guy up. That's wild. It's creating this little spiral. I don't think I'm gonna like the look of that at all. Let's see. Weird how she's moving backwards, because I don't really want her to move backwards. And we'll pull this one up just a little bit, like that range, and then that. So let's see how that looks.
I know you got the blues, I know you feel down, but you wanna keep your chin up, kid, so turn it around. I know you got.
I kind of like her doing that weird little dance all the way down. Like maybe I'll have it. She's doing that rotation, and then she's doing this little dance like sporadically through it, more commonly. It actually is kind of fun and silly. Um, that's all I've really been able to bring to this project. I'm not a good animator. I cannot get them to do things that look realistic, but I can get them to do things that look goofy and fun in that way. So, and you know, in the first clip too, I embraced that in that there's this running motion that he was supposed to be doing, and I was like, I don't want to animate legs because I don't think that it's gonna look good. So I gave it this like cartoon spinny legs, which to me seemed to work a lot better, and then sort of became the style. Um, and the way that they walk too, it doesn't look like walking, but it's like this goofy like paper animation style. Um, and I think that this is another example of that. That's kind of what we're going to be seeing here in her silly dance. So let me have her do a silly dance. And y'all comment below if you hate it. You can if you want to. If you're like absolutely you're the worst. You shouldn't be animating. I will heartily agree. I will heartily agree with you. I should not be the one doing this animation. Absolutely not. Um, I would really love talented people to be doing it. But I will say that without me doing the animation, it wouldn't be done. So, um, as it is, it's me. Y'all, you and I are both stuck with me doing it. So, hate it, love it. You're stuck with me doing it for the time being. Maybe permanently. Maybe this is going to be the thing that we actually do all the time. We'll see. We'll see if it's always going to be goofy like this. Probably. Probably. I don't imagine it changing. As long as you have me doing it. Um, Yeah, there are techniques that I will be able to learn on how to do some stuff so that it can be, more organized, I guess, or whatever. But uh, it's gonna be what it is. We're doing this production in this way right now, so that is what it is. Thank you for being a part of the process with us as you're catching these podcasts and helping support the show. So we do appreciate that, and that will continue to get Cox's Space to be made as a show. So let's see if we can add one more right here. The cool thing about this too, for me, is that the old-timey animators, like the Disney era animators, they didn't have the freedom to like fuck around basically like I do, and see what works and then what doesn't. I know they did. They experimented to see what would work and what didn't. But I feel like much more freedom because if it doesn't work, I just delete it, you know, uh, and uh, and just start over. I can Control Z something like um, undo a task, no problem. And oh, it's past time. This is not even gonna be seen. This one. Yeah, I don't need to do this one because this one's not gonna be seen. But is there a gap here? Okay, maybe that'll work. Let's see what this does. So that's a saving grace for me is that
I know you got the blues, I know you feel down, but you wanna keep your chin up, kid, so turn it around. I know you got that deep sadness, I know you got it down in your soul. You've been eating your feelings right out of a bowl.
And the thing that I'm mostly worried about with her singing is that, her jaw's going to move, but she's not going to articulate, or whatever you call it when you get the shape of the vowel shapes of their mouths. And since she has that soft face and has the ability to do it, like the bowl, for instance, like it's just her mouth will be open and it won't be like round. One thing I have debated is replacing her face, like making her face do it with warping, so that I can do like round mouth and stuff like that. But I'm really afraid that I'm gonna just mess up her face. Um, and I don't think that's gonna look good. But at the same time, I'm trying to figure out how we're going to even make her mouth move in a way that makes sense since this is a straight on shot. We've had a lot of luck with the beaks being sideways. In the opening shot of this sequence with the singing, one of the things that it was it wasn't great in my opinion, but I can't do anything about it because of the angle, unfortunately. But because of the way that it's drawn. But he has like a Beaker mouth, like Beaker from Sesame Street, the Muppets, memer, 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 which, I mean, if he was sideways, I could get it, but it was like almost straight up and down. So, and I'm afraid that she's gonna have something similar to that. I really want it to hinge, and not drop. I don't want her the top of her head to move in the way that the Canadians do on South Park. Is a funny bit. That bit works funny for them. I would really like it to be like a series of articulations, and that's what they do for the animation for South Park. Is it has like different like shapes. She's such a complex drawing though, that it doesn't lend itself to that. Like they thought about it and they made it work because they have just a simple color for the head. There's another animation team called this doing the Bridge Kids, and they do a similar thing too. They have just a solid color, and then they have the mouth that's its own separate piece. And having it integrated like this does make it a little bit more difficult. We're about to go into the animation of her mouth and play with that in Photoshop. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I might be I'll be playing with some ideas to get like maybe an O, an A, an E. See if I can't do it, make it look too weird. Because basically what I'll be doing was swapping out her head, so that she can do that. The ooh sound. But see, the other thing is I have no control over her lips. So that's another thing. And as this is the place that I'm at, is that we're doing animation as 2D flat animation, and I want it to be, I want her to be 3D, and that's not how the animation is. So I'm gonna have to find some places right in between the two of them. This is the joy of animating. This really is, to me, the joy of animating. In that. There's challenges that are being presented here, which is great, and I want one little more hop step right here. So 27, 28 is kind of the place that's going to be, and so you know this you run into challenges all the time, no matter what creative project you're working on. You're going to run into creative challenges and ways that you need to make things work. And so this is one of those things. I'm like, okay, so I could bemoan the fact that I don't have it set up in Blender. We don't have 3D models, or I can recognize the thing that we do have and decide what to do with that. And that's where you have to work from. Like nothing is going to be the way that you specifically want it to be. I mean, you can try to make things exactly perfect like you want them to, and you should be striving for that in any creative project. You should absolutely be doing that. But also, working on a creative project is recognizing the limitations that you personally have and that the project has, and wanting it to be something other than it is only inviting bitterness and madness to your project. I mean, because at a certain point, you can't make it be what it is not. You have to accept what it is, and I think that that's true about life, and then that's about true with ourselves as well. Is that we often get hung up on the things that we want it to be, and don't accept the things as they truly are, and I think that coming to that balance of accepting what we are and then striving for what we want it to be is where we can achieve good work. And that's where we can achieve things that do work. So let's see this in this final push. I just want to see this, how she does the little step here.
So you've been eating your feelings right out of a bowl.
Okay, so that does work. I want to use that mouth trumpet, of course, at the end. We'll see how we're going to do that. I am going to put an intro here as it's crossing into this with the thing. This might be delayed a little bit, or be moving faster in a little bit, but as a transition between this shot here and this shot here. It's like, the SpongeBob 2 weeks later, essentially, but it's like, meanwhile on Pussy Paradise, or like elsewhere on Pussy Paradise, just so we get this transition, because I was realizing that this transition is super hard.
No effect, Peter. Are you shooting blanks?
So we need something right like there so that we can introduce the song.
What is that monstrosity?
Well, Peter, we're hovering over the major and minor folds of a gravity well, and Pussy Paradise is hidden within it.
The mystery must be penetrated. Full thrust. Cogs in space.
Not it.
We'll also probably put a title card here.
Cogs in space.
Not in your face.
Spreading happiness through the universe.
Peter
And Richard
are here for you. At last, it's Cogs in space.
And then we'll do the wigwags title there. I'm gonna make her fatter. In fact, actually, that's one of the things I want to do right now. It's silly, but I do think that she needs to be like wider. I think she needs to be like wider, like these guys, because I don't really see this cat as being super fat, to be honest. So let's go into beach, and then I think we gotta go into subcat. There she is. And it's silly, but I think what I need to do, I don't know if I can do it here. I think I'll need to do it here. And open this guy up. And I got this right here, and I'm just gonna do like that. I can undo this if I need to, but let's just see if she is the fatter kitty that I want her to be. Ooh, that's going off screen now. That's changing a lot of stuff, like the rotation and things. Let's see what she looks like on the beach. Yeah, she's cut off. Of course she's cut off. So I need to scoot this back like this. This is going to change some things as far as her movement goes, but hopefully it'll be alright. It's a little bit better. She's a pretty wide cat now, which I think is funny. Okay. She's so big. Okay, that's fine.
I don't remember these pussies being quite so fat.
Maybe we won't get the turn there. Maybe we'll get it at the beginning of the turn. So it'll be like this, and then we'll finish his line as Richard's coming up behind him on the second clip. But all right, so I do have some tweaking to do. I think that cat being that fat is funny. I've made her double wide now, which is it's not funny because she's fat. That's not. This is not a punching down, laughing at fat jokes. The whole thing about them. What the hell? I did all... I don't even use this one. I don't even use this one. right? It's I'm using a different. Yeah, okay. This is not. It's a different one. Okay, that Luna was just a test Luna. That's it. So it's not. We're not making fun of the. We're not making fun of fat people. Um, it's really it's a fat pussy's joke. Um, you know. Um, and it's really there's no problem with being big, and that's not the thing. They're big, and it's supposed to be highlighted in what Luna is singing in this song. But they're eating their feelings, and their feelings is cat food that is filled with dark matter, and the dark matter is what's created the gravity well, and the dark matter is what's pulled Pussy Paradise into that gravity well. And it is an analogy for depression. Not that there's a necessary correlation between the size of someone's body and being depressed, but the dark matter has added to their mass is the entirety of that. And the more that I have to explain it, the more I recognize it does probably sound real problematic. It was written in response to the depression that I had when I was writing the show, um, and um, and it was the idea that dark matter adds mass enough to pull it to create and pull into a gravity well. Um, we're probably going to get a lot of grief for that. And even with the explanation, I can see where people might be they might have a good point. This one. Listen, I will say this. I do believe this is true because this happened with me in states of depression, and it happens to a lot of people. People, have a tendency to eat their feelings. Male or female have a tendency to eat their feelings. Again, that's not the only reasons that somebody's body size will increase, but if a person is, if you're not supported by your environment or your community, you don't have a way to express your feelings, or you're trying to repress your feelings, filling yourself with food is a pretty standard way for a lot of people to deal with it. And I've been there. I definitely been there. If not food, then drug use, right? Or alcohol consumption. Just something so that you don't have to. You can. Excuse me. The same thing can happen with exercise too. You can over-exercise yourself because you're trying to get an endorphin high, right? That is absolutely. Those are some pretty common responses. I feel a deficit where I am in my environment, and so I want to do something to physically stimulate myself. Sex is another one. A lot of people will use sex to try to fill the void that they have in themselves, and just as detrimental for sure. Like it will lead to a bunch of broken relationships. It will lead to you doing things that are hurting yourself, psychologically and socially. That you know that aren't healthy, and so eating your feelings is really a metaphor for the bigger picture of how we have unhealthy coping mechanisms, and what can happen if a whole planet falls into that. um, I uh, I understand that they're all different body types, absolutely, and that that there's nothing wrong with being a person of the size, a healthy size. I absolutely support people being of a healthy size, to be getting enough calories to sustain their day, for being able to get through their life. And that there are based off of your ancestry and your genetics, there's a healthy body type, and it's all different for people. You might look at me being fairly thin and think that I'm disliking. He didn't color in these nails. Goodness. um, that I'm hating on people who don't have a thin frame, and that's not true. Like this is my default, as far as like a healthy body weight is for my height and build. Um, but so for me to put on another like 50 pounds, you'll begin to notice that it does get really unhealthy looking on me. Uh, but for somebody who has a different build, who's thicker in their build, like um, as long as you're able to healthily do the things that you can do physically and get around your life and do that, as long as you're happy with yourself and your look, I think that you're there, that you're in a good spot. And I think that it comes to recognizing that what you want to do and what you want to be, right? Just being thin is never going to make necessarily. It's not necessarily going to make you happy. I know plenty of like thin people who are also equally unhappy with their bodies. Especially when they're putting themselves through like this big effort of like maintaining that body weight in the face of everything else, and they're missing out on enjoying their lives because they're constantly worried about maintaining this body weight. Um, I don't support anorexia or bulimia in any kind of way. Uh, you know, with the choices because it's pretty destructive. But noting like how many calories you need to get through the day and having a body that's physically fit to do all the things that you want to do with it um, is absolutely essential. It's maintaining you have a healthy and active lifestyle, absolutely essential. I think that because I think that that's the sort of thing that does bring you happiness in the long run. Looking at your body and being like, I love it. Looking at your body and being like, I can do all the things that I want to do with it. I'm not out of breath when I'm climbing stairs. Like I'm able to keep up with my kids and do the activities that I enjoy doing. I think that those are the things that if you're like, hey, I feel like I am limited, that you should do that more. But I follow a friend of mine that I met in Montana. I follow her motocross. She's I don't remember if she's pro or semi-pro motocross, but she's also like a big fitness advocate. Actually, I follow a couple of friends who are big fitness advocates, um, and I'm forgetting both of their names right now. Let me just look them up for you real quick so you can hear who they are. They're on Instagram if you're interested. Um, oh gosh, yeah, this is gonna be difficult because I actually don't know how to even look them up. Uh, I don't remember. I don't even remember their names. I became friends with them like a while ago. I don't know if I know how to even look at my friends list on Instagram. Um, Maybe I do. Here we go. Um, there. Let me see if I can find them. So that if you're interested in finding them, but they're women who they're not thin, but they're very healthy, and I look at what they post because this one, Melissa Topshire, who I met in Chicago, she was a comedian at the time. I believe she still is doing comedy, but she's Mel Top 37 if you're looking for her on Instagram. But she's posting about how to be a strong lifter and how to maintain a strong body type for your body type. And she to me, like I admire her a lot because again, she's not thin, but you can tell that she's like ripped, she's strong, and she's also one of the things that she points out a lot is that you have to be maintaining your body type for your bone density, because bone density is what's going to be your big deal as you become older. You don't want your bones breaking down around you because you didn't have them supported with a muscle structure. And so her videos are super inspiring to me. I love what she's doing and how she represents, because I feel like what she's talking about is a healthy body type. And this is again to point out that we're not talking about bigness of body. We're talking about like an unhealthy coping mechanism from the point of depression with this show. And I think that it's important to make that distinction for women because I think women, well, men too, but it seems like it's more commonly talked about with women in these impossible beauty standards. And it's becoming much more common too for men to have impossible beauty standards as well. I mean, if you look at any of the Marvel movies, or any of the superhero movies. They have standards for men that even the heroes of it. Hugh Jackman, for instance, is like dude, I have to like be dehydrated in order for you to see all my muscles. You know what I mean? Like to get this like jacked look, I have to not drink water for like 24 hours so that I'm all like shriveled up, and that's super unhealthy and obviously not a great place. The other woman that I admire a lot is Cassidy underscore 320, and that's Cassidy Shaver. She is she's she does motocross and does promote a really healthy lifestyle on her Instagram about you need to get as many calories as you need to get through your day. It's not just about eating or not eating; it's about make sure you have the calories to burn, so you can do the things that you want to do. And so I really do support these women a lot. I admire them a lot. I can't tell you how much I support them. I follow them on Instagram and like their posts as I see them. But I believe that they're pointing out what's necessary, what people need to know and think about in order to maintain both a healthy and active lifestyle, and how important that is to have a body that functions and a body that you love because of what it's capable of doing. Because there is something to be said about as much as people are like the fear of fat or whatever, the fear of flabbiness. There is something to be said with going the other direction, and that also comes from a place of depression and self-hate, which we are not endorsing or supporting on the show at all. So that and I mean, our big message is that self-care is the only way to spread happiness across the universe, and so we got to understand that in both cases that if you are keeping yourself sick for whatever reason, whether it's overeating or undereating, that's you're not going to be able to spread happiness across the universe because you're not gonna have happiness within your universe, and so we need to be able to strike that balance, and you need to be able to strike that balance within yourself too. So please take care of yourselves. Please check out these women for tips about how they're doing it. Don't look at me as an expert, as I'm a male. And not part of the female culture or that mentality. It's not me as a man telling you what to do with yourself and your body, but look at other women in your community who I believe are being pretty healthy, and I would recommend them and support and endorse the message that they've got going too, because that's a conversation that you want to be having with members who are your peers, and obviously. I am in this way not one of your peers, so because I have a different body type than you all do. So please, yeah, check that out, check them out, and please take care of yourselves. It's not about the size of your body, in my opinion. It's about what you're capable of doing with it and why you're doing it. Uh, if you're running to any form of addiction, it's whether it's sex or it's drugs or it's overeating, whatever that is for you, or under eating, whatever that is for you. If it's coming from a place of hatred or dislike for who you are, please stop. Please stop doing that because it's gonna just hurt you in the long run. I mean, it's the same thing. I'd be like, don't smoke. Whatever drugs that you're smoking, or don't vape any of the drugs that you're vaping. And it's really there's two thoughts on that. It's that one, it's destroying your body ultimately. Whatever substance you're continuing to put in your body, whatever you're doing, legal or otherwise. And but It's also when it's coming from a place of dislike for yourself, or the fact that you want to avoid feeling the situation of your life, or dealing with you're trying to combat the thoughts that you're having of dislike for yourself, that you really please stop. Please stop doing it because self-care is the only way to spread happiness across the universe. and really looking after your mental and physical health. It makes you stop looking for that in other people, and then also it makes it so that you're capable of taking care of other people, which is the whole point. Is that we're capable and loving to ourselves because there's many people around us who are not capable or loving themselves also. And so by not by teaching them, but just by providing that example of what self-care and self-love looks like in a healthy way, where it's like, I know who I am and I know what I'm capable of, and that makes me capable of, like, doing all the things that I want to do with my life. Is how we make the world a better place. It's not about preaching to them. It's not about teaching other people. It's just by living by the example, like presenting the example that that there is another way to be. There is a way to be generous, and there is a way to be kind. And that starts with you and yourself. That you once you're doing that to yourself, you as a habit begin to do it with other people around you. Um, and that's setting healthy boundaries with yourself and then sticking to them, so because you're telling yourself that you're worth it, that you are worthwhile being, and that you have the that you don't need somebody to get your back because you got your back. And the more that you present that to the people around you, the more that that we have a world, that's better than it was. So I would encourage you guys to check out those women who are having those conversations, and avoid the women who are not having those conversations, that are suggesting that you try to maintain like a unhealthy body image that comes from a place of disrespect for yourself. Um, okay. I'm looking at her mouth. I'm looking at Luna's mouth. Okay, one thing I need to do is to take her head off. So I do know that that's true. I need to remove the head because I want it to move independently from that. So I'm gonna start there because it's a thing that I know that I can do. This is kind of the biggest final challenge for me. I really do want this sequence to be great, and it's gonna be what it is. If I am going with the Terry Gilliam style, then it's not wrong for the head to move, the mouth to move, like blah 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 blah, like the Canadians do on South Park. That's not a wrong way to do it. Um, but because he did that in all of the animation there. Um, but there's something, it's almost like too goofy for what I want to do with Luna. I really love Luna as a character. She has some fantastic qualities to her. She to me is like the real sweetheart of the show. Um, and I got a lot of respect for her as a character, and so I don't want to, whoops, wrong layer. I don't want her to come across as too silly, although she's a big goofball too, and she does get to crack jokes and stuff like that on the show. And she also, it's cool. We've been discovering that she has like a learning curve over the course of this season, in that she's finding out what it means to be like selfless, and what type of adventure, like she's done a lot of really cool stuff. She's done a lot of self-care herself, but she's not really applying that to how to take care of other people. Um, as a cat does. They're very capable of taking care of themselves, but they're still pretty selfish. And so it's a cool story arc for her, that we're exploring in season one. But and then still at the same time, like she is. I didn't realize how Garfield she looks. Her orange and black markings like that. That wasn't really the goal we were going for. We were going for more of an Abyssinian cat, as I think you saw in one of the previous episodes. But it is what it is. Um, but yeah, so she's learning that that she can use all her skills to support, to look after other people. So but then at the same time, like I was saying, I really did I miss a nail? I did. How did I do that? I really do want her to be treated respectfully. Uh, Especially, I mean, so one of the things that people are worried about with the show when they first come across the show is that the cocks in space, and it seems like it might be fairly sexist. And we really do we've tried really hard in the writing to honor our female characters with autonomy and with you know their own that they're full persons too. They're not just props to the men who are on the show. That they have goals and ambitions themselves, and so we've tried to honor that with them. And I feel like Luna and Chloe both are doing that quite a bit. We have some great development, especially in the next couple of episodes, which if you guys want to check out, you can, of course, on coxinspace.com. There's a read through of the episodes there up to episode 4, I believe, because I think it was right before we started working on 5. So yeah, so you can check that out, and if you can double check that we're treating our women respectfully, as full people, as full beings, as you should. Um, that women are people too, and individuals with full lives, and we try to show that, and give them that give them as much free will and license to be, not just plot points, but fully fleshed out characters. That's one of the functions of a story calculator too, in my opinion, is that it doesn't treat any character as a one-dimensional member of just serving the plot. But if they are, especially if they are main characters, they have complex reasoning and purposes for existing. So that's one thing that I'm really glad that we're using the calculator for, and it seems to continue to be working with all these characters. So you can always check that out if you like to. Reddit slash our story calculators, and you can check that out. Some of the processes there as well. So glad to have you along for that. But yeah, as far as like, just being healthy, just taking care of yourself, I do encourage all of you to continue to do that because you're worth it. Even if you're a person I don't agree with, or whatever, if you're you're like, oh wait, what? Who don't you agree with? Even if you're a racist homophobe, for instance, or a person filled with hate who's self-destructive and I can't be around you. Like I still care that you're taking care of yourself. I still care that her nails really do show up now, don't they? And also that motion line needs to be taken off. Because the fact of the matter is, it's not the connection that we have that's important. It's that when everybody is being as healthy as they can for themselves, is when the world becomes a better place. Because the more kind you are to yourself, the more gentle you are, and the more that you are pushing yourself towards excellence, with that loving kindness, then the more that you show that loving kindness to the world around you, to the people around you. So that's why I encourage everyone to do that. Is that we need to recognize that we're part of a thing, and that we're not just an individual who is going about doing our lives, but every action that we take is karmatically linked to everything else around us. And people throw around karma, the idea of karma around a lot. That's not unusual of a thing. I don't think that's a concept that people have. that is in the Western world, karma is not an idea that we don't understand the word, but it's more that the understanding of karma, I think, is different than a lot of people think. Karma, I think, most people will consider like retribution. Um, like you get what you deserve, kind of things. And that's one instance of karma. That's one understanding of karma, and that when you push something, every reaction has an equal and opposite reaction. Is kind of the I want to say Asimov, but that's not who I mean. The guy who discovered the apples, the Isaac who discovered the apples, who's different, um, who's different than that. Uh, Dang, I just did. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix something in the animation later, but um, I will do that. Newton, Isaac Newton. So that's an understanding that we have from him, but that's not the only understanding in karma. The idea with karma, in the traditional sense, from what I understand, is that every action you take has it affects all the other actions around it, and every action that he really did that. Yeah, you see how it's clear right here. It's not white. Um, like what was the point was. Um, but so yeah, so every action that you take um, is affecting the other actions, and everything that you are is from a series of actions that came before you. And so in that, I think that should give us pause in some ways, um, because hopefully what it does for you is make you realize that you don't exist in a vacuum. That the actions that you take, the attitudes that you hold on to, the thought processes that you have affects everyone around you as well. And so when we're selfish and unkind, that's not just something that happens to us, but it's something that affects the entire world around you too, and everyone who's in it. Because we have the choice to be kind or not be kind, and when we choose to not be kind to ourselves and not be we choose also not to be kind to other people around us. And that, in my opinion, is kind of what makes people horrible, horrible people, is just the act of selfishness. When people are just being selfish for their own gratification, for their own glorification, is the type of people that I'm just like, yeah, I don't have a lot of time for you, or that type of behavior, because it's so destructive, to everything that you touch, and every action that you take, and you know. Uh, that's not the type of behavior or people that I endorse, or support, or want to spend a whole lot of time with, because they just have a tendency to consume and consume and consume and never really contribute back to the world. Their need for to glorify, gratify themselves is so great that no one else is a concern of theirs. Is the type of behavior that I'm like that. That's never made the world a better place. That's only made the world the way that we see it. And really, it's like the laziest way to behave too, because hate and greed and selfishness. Those are like really like childish behaviors. Like they're like the type of behavior that you know that kids do instinctually. The lying as well. Like that's the behavior that kids do instinctually before they mature. And so when I run into full adults who are doing that behavior, and they're still selfishly hanging on to that type of behavior, is when I'm like, oh, okay, you haven't progressed really beyond that of like your adolescence phase. Um, and it's the ones that I see who are going out of their way to support and to be kind and to to think about others is the ones I'm like that. Those are the like healthy and mature people, because they have to have made that decision, right? Like it's like they could have instinctually stayed where they were, doing the really basic human stuff, which is, it's basically animal behavior. Like animals are also selfish in this way. They're going to do whatever they want to do, and they're not considerate most times of other animals around them. And like it's really that higher functioning brain that goes, oh wait, this my behavior affects other people, and therefore I'm going to choose to increase the goodness in the world. And notice you said that. I hope you noticed that I didn't say positivity, because I think that there's something about this false positivity, like the Pollyanna kind of like, we're going to try to smile in the face of everything, which leads to like much worse behavior. I think that you see this happen with like a lot of like Christian culture, where they'll try to put on a face about how positive they are, and they end up being very destructive to themselves because they're not admitting to themselves that they don't really feel that way. They feel like they need to feel that way, and so that's equally destructive in a lot of ways, um, in my opinion. Um, so that's what I was saying, but it's more about increasing just the goodness that's in the world, and that means again recognizing where you are with that, what you're doing with that, and then how what I'm doing can support me at the goodness for what I need, and then support the good in the community surrounding me. Um, and again, I think that's when people are reaching maturity, like because that's not a thought that monkeys have, generally. That's not a thought that children have. Is the world isn't just about me and my pleasure and what I can get. It's about seeing what is needed, uh, how I'm needed in the world, and how I'm needed to provide this good. Because if I'm not the one who's providing good to the world, then it's not going to be done, because other people won't do it. And so there's not a cut and dry way to do that actually, and that's where it becomes difficult, and that's where it becomes that we have to be like proactive humans in it. Is that we can't just be like following our instincts and following what we want to do or following what feels good to us, because that's never really going to indicate how to do good, because good isn't easy. Good is a difficult thing to. Kindness isn't an easy thing to choose. It's actually pretty difficult to choose, whether it's kindness for ourselves or kindness to other people. That's a difficult choice to make. Deciding what type of speech that we'll put up with around us, or what type of behavior we'll put up with around us, and not changing other people, but just changing ourselves, taking full responsibility for ourselves. Those are difficult choices to make. That's not an easy thing to do. It's much easier to fall into our base addictions and fall into our own concepts of what we want, and fall into old habits and behaviors and remain unchanged, and blame everybody else for our circumstances. That's a far easier thing to take. In fact, and it's one of those things that I'm just like, when I see people doing it, I'm just like, yeah, you're choosing to be a basic human being, and that's why I'm like, I'm not mad at them for doing it. I get it that's the like instinct that people have. That's the base instinct that people have, is to be dumb and be selfish and be cruel. That's pretty normal. But it's not the type of behavior that I have a whole lot of respect for. Just because it's just so easy to do that type of thing. It's not the harder of the two choices. It shows that you've never really taken the time or have the capacity possibly to examine yourself and your motivations, and to choose to be the more to be a better human. It says that you've decided that being the base human, the low level, hateful, selfish. You've decided to be that human instead. But again, that's just you've chosen the easier of the paths, and you will struggle with the more difficult things, for sure. because choosing to be loving and choosing to be self-sacrificing, it is more difficult. It is a more difficult choice to make. I'm not good at it. It's a thing that I also have struggled with and continue to struggle with because I recognize the value in it for one, but then I also recognize that like it's not something that just happens. It's something that you have to strive for. The same thing with like self-care. Like it's not something that just happens. It's something that you have to recognize that you're not doing, and then you have to strive for. And that's so that you can have maintain healthy relationships, so that you can maintain a physically healthy body, so that you can maintain a mentally healthy environment for yourself. And again, that doesn't just happen. It's much easier for human beings to fall into their animal instincts and just continue to be self-destructive and hurt other people around them. It's a pretty normal and basic response, but basic nonetheless. So while I have compassion for that, it's definitely not something I would ever. I think what I'm gonna do is, this is tricky. Um, but I think it's worthwhile. I think that's the concluding portion of that thought before I move on to the next. I think it's worthwhile. I think that once you begin to explore kindness and once you begin to explore selflessness and you see how much effect that you can have on the world in that way by taking care of others above yourself and to push other people forward, encourage other people to be that way through your example. I think that you find there's just this great joy in it because you begin to see that then it's not just my successes that I get to celebrate, but I get to celebrate the successes of everyone else around me too. So the joy is multiplied when you stop taking your eyes, when you take your eyes off yourself and begin to look at how you can be a better person for the rest of the world. Because in that way, you actually begin to you get to celebrate the good things that are happening. For instance, where I'm at work right now, there is, and it seems to be part of the culture here, that there's this like because it's very like it reminds me of the military guys that my brother hangs out with, because he's retired from the army, and the guys that he hangs out with, they seem to feel that encouraging other people, they'll do that by critiquing, criticizing, and tearing down other people, and so they're constantly like jibing each other, constantly like biting comments and like this sort of thing, and it's just to me it's so distasteful. I'm just like, yeah, great. Like they feel like they're building themselves up by tearing other people down, and I've been noticing that that's like a cultural thing where I'm at too. That it's kind of like a lot of people have this mentality that that can improve other people by tearing them down. Um, and I was like, ugh, like I really don't like that in this workplace. And so instead of doing that, of course, because I'm an improviser, like I've come from that philosophy that we're all poets and artists and geniuses, and the more that we build each other up, the better community we have together. That that's what I've been doing instead. And so what I've been seeing is actually this transformation where people have been like more encouraging to each other. And we're in a tough job. It's fast paced. It's hot. It's precise. Things need to be done how the customer wants them to be done. It's constantly changing. It's very noisy. But in that, just by being continually kind to the people around me, I feel like I've been inviting a change. Because they get to feel the positivity along with me, which I think is fantastic and really, huge fan of. And then also, that at the end of the day, it seems to have been able to keep like some people from flipping out too. And so at the end of the day, that just that little bit of like, let's encourage one another instead of tearing each other down, um, seems to be making a difference there. And what it has been doing for me is that I get to celebrate with the people that I'm working with our group successes. That it's like not just, it's not just me winning the day against everyone else, but it's all of us winning the day against the face of adversity in our case. Um, so yeah, so and I that can be, I've seen it happen before. I did that when I was in the cult also. They had the same sort of mentality, there too, that people are, there's a lot of negativity there, right? We're dealing with all sorts of people, drug addicts, homeless people, people who are in the legal system. Um, let's see if this works. And so, they're in a lot of places that, yeah, I think I'm gonna do it like this. Although her jaw looks super weird that way, but I think that we can do it like, yeah, like that. Um, I, th I wish that this line was like connected. Maybe I could do it like this. Like if I keep that line connected, if I could do it. Um, nope. I can do it like that. So she sings at the side of her mouth. That doesn't look too bad. Although I don't really like that either. Maybe if I, no. Like if I connect this line here, but it's gonna look weird when it comes down here. I really do wish that I had this in Blender, because then that line would move with it, but yeah, I think I'm gonna do it like that. She's gonna speak like that. But yeah, like that's the thing. Like it just, the more you multiply goodness, the more that there will be goodness. I think that there's a Martin Luther King quote that says, because Martin Luther King was also a preacher, so um, he had studied the Bible and understood in that what he was talking about. Um, but like he says that darkness doesn't get more darkness to go, doesn't get rid of the darkness, only light does that. And hate doesn't get you don't get rid of hate with more hate, only love can do that. And that's, I mean, that is absolutely true. I will point out, like I do whenever I mention this, that I don't subscribe to any religion whatsoever, because I think that religion is super destructive. They turn something good, in all cases, they turn something that is good into a series of rules so that they can beat each other up with it, and I think that's really destructive. And it's never how any philosophy or religion is supposed to be used. Um, but I think that we can take a lot of great notes. Oh, there's some more right there. I think we can take a lot of great notes from many religions, as many of them have discovered, as many of the great teachers have discovered, um, truths that we can become better humans with, and so we shouldn't miss the opportunities to learn from these great teachers, who have existed in different cultures. Um, for this very reason. I think that people have continually added to the human experience throughout time, and by negating their wisdom because they're in different cultures, I think that we miss the really great thing about humanity. I think that's gonna be our ticket right there. Um, it's gonna look a little weird on the far side, but I think it'll be okay. And so, yeah, like that's the thing, is that if you want to heal yourself, or if you want to be healed rather, of your affliction, you have to first recognize that you have a problem, that we are basic humans who spread a lot of hate by default. And then maybe if I don't really want to do this, but we'll see what happens. Uh, so it's like that. Maybe if I cut off the back of that jaw, we can get away with it. Yeah, I think we can get away with it that way. I'm just gonna trim this up a little bit here, and then hopefully that will work those out. So yeah, you gotta first admit that our default setting is to be hateful and unkind. That's something that we've learned from our culture. That's something that we instinctually do because kids are inherently selfish, even though they're filled with wonder. Um, but that's what they're going to do is they're going to be real basic and tell lies and be hurtful and unkind to each other. It's a thing that's going to happen. So we have to first like recognize that in ourselves, and then from there we begin to strive to be better, which is just to be more kind to ourselves, be and for the reason so that we can be more kind to other people, because that's the only way that anything's ever going to change. And it's the only way that anything has ever changed on this planet is from the same concept. So this is gonna work. Yay! I'm excited. I didn't know if it was gonna work, but here we are, and it's working. Um, so let's see if we can do this. And I don't say that I don't say that passively. I'm not saying just abstractly, the things that should change and not change. Really, in a lot of ways, the situation that we see in the world today um, stems from this exact. I mean, especially in America and in Israel right now, or in Gaza right now, I should say, because the nation state of Israel is illegitimate, set up by a outside government, and uh, I say that with my whole chest. That was something that was enforced on a people that it did not belong to. It was not the role of any government to make that happen, and it's not the role of the government to keep enforcing that or supporting that. It's absolute insanity to me that that's the case. But that is to say that like the reason that we're seeing the continued wars and the continued policies that we see in America is just the perpetuation of hate. And um, the only way we can change that is not by showing more hate to those things, but by taking the personal responsibility with ourselves and showing less of that in general to each other. And again, that's the selfishness, the lack of honesty, the hate in any form against ourselves and against other people. So I wish that I could correct that for you with a snap of the fingers. I cannot, unfortunately. It is a thing that you have to choose to do yourself. And trickily enough, you have to choose to do it every day. You have to continue to do it every day and every moment. And so it's not an easy thing, and it's not an easy thing to do. Is again because our instincts are so basic, right? To to only try to take care of ourselves because we feel like if we don't take care of ourselves, nobody else will, and that's understandable. I get where that feeling comes from, but you know, if I don't, oh dang it, if I don't look after myself, I'm gonna be, left in the lurch. That if I don't selfishly pursue my own goals, then everyone's going to trample over me. Those are really basic thoughts to have, and I understand having them. But also, if you want to make the world a better place, you really have got to start that change within yourself, and you have to strive to be better than the people who have mistreated you, and the people that who have let you down, um, and you have to be better than them. And not in a sense of superiority, because you can't take that. That's only going to make you more self-centered and self-focused. But for the sake that, just because things have happened to me doesn't allow me to behave in any kind of way that is less than loving and kind. Because the truth of the matter is, yeah, you may have been hurt by people, you may have been wronged by people, absolutely. But that doesn't excuse any of your behavior at all. It doesn't allow you to do whatever you want to get back at them or get back at the world for doing that to you. It's the only thing that you're doing at that point is that you have become a hateful person that's perpetuating the same hate that happened to you, and that unfortunately. Oh, she's looking the wrong way. That unfortunately is just not a legit excuse for bad behavior. Because something's happened to you doesn't give you the right to do it to anyone else. In fact, you're just making the world worse by doing that. So it's really up to you as a person that if you want to continue to perpetuate hate, then you can choose to do that with your actions, and you can if you think that the world has been bad to you, what you're saying is, because the world's been bad to me, I'm going to continue to make it bad. That's the thing you have to consider, is if that's the type of person that you really want to be. Is if that's the type of person that at the end of the day, is that the type of person that you're gonna respect, or that when you look back at your life, that you're gonna have any sort of respect for, or that is gonna be the type of person that leaves like a positive and lasting impact on the world. Again, you can choose, you get to choose to be whoever you want to be and however you want to be. It's not up to me to decide that for you, or to say that one way is better than the other. But what I am begging and asking you to consider is whether or not that's the type of world that you want to leave behind. Do you want to leave behind the type of world that did the same things that to you, that you want to be the type of person who does the same things to other people that you had done to you? Is that what you want? Because that's really the ultimate question. Is not quite. She got that Chad job right now though, bro. But because you can, I mean, that's the cool thing about free will. That's the cool thing about the world that we live in. Is that we get to pick what type of world we want it to be. Um, I think you may be tired of hearing about this, but it's actually been real cool. I've been just living in like a much more peaceful place by just reciting Psalms 23 whenever my mind has free time, or rather making free time by reciting Psalms 23, so there aren't other thoughts that are taking over and running the show. I'm intentionally, focusing and having that be the conversation that I'm having with myself. And for that, I think it's been having just a big impact on the world and people around me too, because they're not seeing someone who is caught up in their emotions, and worried about whatever the thoughts were that I was worried about previously. Instead, they're seeing somebody who is being in a place that's completely tranquil, neutral, probably. I think that is been a little bit weird for people to run into someone who's in like a neutral state, instead of seem to have thoughts going on in the background, but still, and nonetheless, that it's coming from a place of tranquility, and so they're not having to be anxious about the thoughts of what's happening, with me, so. Um, Okay, now as you saw this whole thing, um, this whole thing, all that dancing that we just did with, I'm gonna import this into this timeline for this. It's gonna replace this character right here. Um, how long is this? Oh, it's at 37 seconds. Okay, that's fine. We could drop this back down a bunch. But yeah, just so it's been really nice to be someone who's not a concern to other people. That's not creating the problems around me. Instead, just being part of the solution of what's happening. And again, that's a choice. That's a choice that I get to make, right? Every day, to to be kind, or to perpetuate more of the unsteadiness that exists in the world. So I would encourage you to do the same, because each of us has a part to play in this. There's a reason that we all exist right now. Whether you believe that we chose that or whether we're placed here by happenstance, like either way, we have, because we have free will, we have active participation in the world around us, and we can choose. We can choose to make it better. We can choose to make it worse with our behavior. We can take responsibility for ourselves and our actions, or we can continue to blame other people for that, and that's up to us to do. Okay, so she's not in a bad spot, which is cool. Um, I wonder if I can increase. She's very tiny. And there's a thing I'm doing with scale on that one that I'll have to work out the percentages to get those correct. But let's say she starts at like 80.9. So that's almost correct. And then she goes to, and then we kind of want her to hit like about 100 by the time she gets here. All right. So I think she's a little bit lower than I wanted her to, but let's check out the final push real quick. See if she's centered where she's supposed to be.
I know you got the blues, I know you feel down, but you wanna keep your chin up, kid, so turn it around. I know you got that deep sadness, I know you got it down in your soul. You've been eating your feelings right out of a bowl.
Okay, all right, so she's actually not in a bad spot. I think I want to move all of this. Not great. I don't know if I can do this all at one time, but let's see. Because I want to, should be a way to, no. Is there a way to, I should be able to, I'm going to have to move them all separate. I don't really want to do that. Is there a way to do this or no? I don't think there's a way to do it. Because I want them all to be just slightly over to the left. And I don't want to have to do that on the other frame where it moves everything over, so I'm just going to do it. No, that's not it. I'm going to do it like this. Let's start with this one. And really, it's just a hair over. That's all I need to do, and then just move this guy over here, and then this one over here. And like I said, you can choose however you want to live, and how you choose to live is 100% up to you. You don't have to change your philosophy because some guy on a an animation podcast for a show called Cox in Space was telling you how to be. Um, but what I am advocating for you is that you can possibly have a happier life, regardless of what's happening with you, by simply changing the way that you behave towards other people. And that's the thing that I would want for you. The same way as this whole conversation started, in that you don't have to choose to be healthy. You don't have to choose to work out or eat healthy, or to maintain your body. You can choose to have whatever addictions you want to have as well. Those are choices that you get to make. I'm not judging you for making those choices. Those are you have the freedom to do that. As a being in this reality, who has the abilities to choose. But what I am offering to you, and what I'm suggesting to you, is that you know when you operate from a place of kindness is when you begin to see that kindness kind of exists everywhere. When you operate from a place of love, is when you see that. I think I have to do this on a whole different level to like her head, so I can get the head jaw, so I can flip it as I want to while she's still singing, and I do. So because it's really your perception of reality that changes your. I didn't do that, did I? I did. Why did I do that? Oh, this is just the graphics. All right. And when you're in a place you're in this negative place, where you perceive the world to be uncruel and to be cruel and unkind, is when you yourself begin to perpetuate that cruelness and unkindness on other people. When you perceive the world to be unfair, and is when you perpetuate that unfairness on the world around you. When you feel like you don't have enough and you will never be enough, is when you perpetuate that on the world around you. And so uh, that's why I'm really really begging you, as a person, to begin to change that mindset for yourself, because once you do that is when you begin to see that that there is more beauty in the world than you may have thought possible before. That the world is giving you advantages that it didn't give other people. That the world really has been taking care of you, even though it may not be the things that you wanted from it. Um, and so I'm not saying that everything will suddenly change, but I'm saying that the the dialogue that you've been having uh, in your mind about how everything is so messed up, you begin to be able to change that dialogue into seeing uh, how there's a lot of opportunity for you, instead of thinking about all the things that you lack. Um, and the big reason, here's the big reason, right? Is that our minds are really good at pattern recognition, really really good. And the more that we fixate on the things that we fixate on, are what our minds will generate as solutions. Um, this is really fucking weird. I gotta take out this little thing right here. Um, and so in that, it's just this. I'm really I'm just begging you personally to begin to change that mindset. you know, that you seem to that you I don't know you personally, but you know, people have a tendency to focus on the negative, and there's a reason for it too. I mean, again, this is not crazy to say it this way, but there's a reason for it. I mean, our animal brains focus on the negatives so that they don't get hurt, right? That's it. They're just trying to not run into the same situations that they've had before. And so we in our animal brains will fixate, our mammalian brains will fixate on the things that have hurt us in order for them not to happen again. That's it. That's the entire thing. But just because we were hurt before does not necessarily mean we are going to be hurt again. You know, and the things that we fixate on are the things that we begin to perpetuate when we don't realize that we're doing this. So right? It's not a wild supposition to be like, hey, if you change your thinking as we can as humans, you know, we're greater than our animal programming, you know, and we begin to focus not on the things that not on the problems, but on solutions that we'd rather have instead, or the way that we'd rather be instead, is when we can break free from this really unproductive animal thinking. I'm just going to delete that whole thing. And so, you know, um, we can then get out of the mentality that exists there, and the trap that we've been given, you know, unfortunately, as we're just highly evolved animals, is that, you know, instead of now focused on the problems, which, you know, animals have a tendency to do until they forget about them, which is the blessing that animals have that we don't, you know, because we have such long memories and such, you know, problem-solving brains. Um, you know, we were using them for hunting and gathering, right? You know, we're looking for a certain type of berry, a certain type of plant that we knew to be good. We were able to find them, you know, in the woods. You know, that was a really good way to use our problem-solving brain. Um, but when we start to use them in social situations, and we start to use it in for you know, dealing with our own histories and futures, they become really unproductive, especially in the environment that we live in, which is highly complex, and you know, that very rarely do we encounter the same moment twice, you know, or the same situations twice. And so um, when we begin to project onto the world the things that you know, we think are going to happen, is when they they do happen exactly the way that we thought they would, because we kind of make them happen with our responses and behaviors. And so that's why I'm like, you know, again, it's not changing it to be Pollyanna, you know, so that, you know, we're you know, just letting, well, in the face of everything, we're going to say that it's good, because that's not healthy to, you know, recognize that, you know, when you're in bad situations, you need to get out of them, or that, you know, like that you know, you're going to like outthink your depression or whatever. But it does say that, you know, instead of dwelling on the circumstances that we have no control over, and thinking that everything will be the same that it was, that since we were rejected, you know, as children, that we will be rejected by people in the future, and therefore we need to behave in such a way that, you know, we get what we want out that situation, so that you know, when that rejection comes, we've already satisfied ourselves, like, you know, then you know, I need to get what I can for myself, because eventually no one's going to like me, and so you know, I need to make sure that I get everything I want for myself, so that when that does happen, I've already gotten my satisfaction out of it. Like, whew, it's just very destructive. And there is a better solution for it. Um, and that's really just, you know, when we begin to build up and care for one another, above ourselves, and we look for opportunities to be kind, and to be generous, and to be selfless, is when we find that, you know, there are a bunch of good people around us, and that the world does become a better place, because we were there, instead of the opposite of, you know, we've made the world worse by being there. And I think that's really what, you know, for a lot of people, that's what really continues to hurt and perpetuate that cycle, is that we see that our presence is actually has been making the world worse, and in a lot of ways, I think that trying to deny it and disprove that to ourselves is what becomes like the thing that really starts to continue to um, destroy our world. And our relationships. There we go. Now she's got a nice shaped jaw instead. Um, so that is why this conversation, like, please be better to yourself. Um, and I'm not saying pamper yourself or think of yourself better, but like just the conversations of being kinder to yourself in the speeches that you have with yourself about yourself, and be kinder with the world that you've come from. Um, that maybe things didn't work out the way that you wanted to, but you know that that's no reason to give up hope for the future. And maybe you were a monster in the past, but that's no reason to give up hope for your potential in the future. So just as an offering.
I know you got the blues.
Okay.
I know.
This is going to be tough and tedious. Okay.
I know. I
Okay. By here, we need to be open a little bit. Sorry, guys. This part is probably not going to be a big talking part because it's like this bit. It's just um, really tedious. Um, I will say this about anything. This relates to our conversation about self-care as far as like health goes, mental health goes, um, and creative projects. Is that there's going to be a lot of little work that you're going to have to do.
blue.
Um,
I know you got the blues.
it's working. I don't like it as much, but it's working.
I know.
Just want a little bit of a dip. And then close job. I'm gonna do that right there, and then you can pop it back up.
I know you got the blues. I know blues. I know you feel
Wait, what?
blues. I know.
Yeah, that needs to close. I can't.
I know you feel down. I know you got the blues. I know you feel.
Oh man, there's something messed up here now. Ah, crap.
I know you got the blues.
Right there, wherever that was. This is not working. So,
Blues. The blues.
okay, let's close that here. And then pop over for this.
Blues. I got the blues. I know.
Hmm, that's not working. No, why are you creating new points? Don't be creating new points.
Blues. I know. Know you got the blues. I know you got the blues.
This should be working towards a close. Ah,
I know you feel down.
I was actually that's a piano pop right there. That's why it's not working there.
I know you got the blues. I know you feel down. Know you got the blues. I know. I know you feel. You feel. I know you feel.
Yeah, succeeding at anything is really just accomplishing a series of small tasks. And I know that's a really simplistic way to look at things, but you know, um, weight loss, if that's something that you feel like you're in an unhealthy body weight, or weight gain if you feel the opposite, and being kind in situations is just breaking it down to a series of small tasks. This is easier in a lot of ways to do it in animation, because this the simple, I know what the task is. It's the song, right? And I have the pieces of Luna to do that, and I just have to go in and then continue to do each one of the steps, and not give up. And that's really the thing, is like having a goal, and then having a bunch of little small goals to do it, and then the determination not to give up. I started doing 30-day yoga practice, yoga with Adrienne, which is she's fantastic as far as like the thought process, in my opinion, of how to be doing it. And she's going through things that I have known because I practiced yoga for a little while. Uh, but it's good. She's going through the basics, and uh, so it's supposed to be a 30-day practice, but I've skipped a couple of days, right? And so in some cases, you would think that I failed in not doing the 30-day practice, and you'd be correct in that I didn't do it every single day, but I'm gonna do it today, even though I haven't done it the last couple of days, and that's because I still want to do it. I'm still pushing for it, so I'm not giving up on it. I'm just continuing to do the work and not giving up in that way. And to me, that makes the big difference. That's the difference between succeeding at something and failing at something, is that maybe you're not consistent with it. but you still are striving for it. And I think that as long as you aren't giving up in doing the task, and that you're not overwhelming yourself with this need for it to be exactly the way that you think it should be, I think that you'll get a lot more mileage out of that than you know uh, the idea that it has to be perfect every time, right?
I know you got the blues. I know you feel down. You feel down.
It needs to be a field.
You feel down. But you but you
Oh shoot, that was a piano pop. Dang. No, don't do it.
down.
Okay, we definitely want this too.
But but you but you but you want down. But you want down. But
Okay, this needs to go back just a little bit here, and then we need to do a little pop here.
you
Then you're gonna do this. It's just a little bit like that.
you want
There's a little fly that's been flying around this whole time, and I don't know what it is, but flies really bug me. I think that it's because they talk about how there's like moisture, dirtiness, around. Uh, if you see them in a restaurant or in a kitchen that you're working in, you know that things aren't as clean as they could be.
down. But you wanna keep your wanna keep your wanna keep keep your but you wanna keep your but you want wanna keep your
Cool.
kids. Wanna keep your chin up, kids.
Looks like we are coming up on the last few minutes of this show. It looks like I'm not going to be able to finish her all the way, all the speaking today. But like I've been saying, in this program in particular, this episode in particular, we don't accomplish everything in one day.
Kids so
Uh,
kids so
that I'm going to accomplish as much as I can with Luna. Um,
turn so turn up, kids so kids so
and then I think the big thing about the fly is just recognizing the smelliness of myself. I took the day off, and so I haven't even showered anything. And it is hot in Tennessee right now, and humidity is fairly high, and I know that I've been sweating up a storm. Fortunately, I'm not around other human beings right now, and so I don't, I'm not as worried about it, but. That is the case. The flies are on me, and I'm like, oh, it's me. I'm not as clean as I should be. Um, but yeah. So, but like with the thing with with the progress that we make, I'm gonna try to do as much as I can today, and as much as I'm capable to do today. And after that, I'll accomplish what I can tomorrow, and that's how things get done. That's how mental health improves. That's how physical health improves. That's how we improve the world socially. Is that we're not going to be able to change everything overnight. We're not going to expect things to be changed overnight, but we're going to expect to keep making a positive move forward in our lives and in the lives of society.
down, but you wanna keep your chin up, kids so turn it so turn it turn it kids so turn it around your chin up, kids so turn it around, but you wanna keep your chin up, kids so turn it around, wanna keep your chin up, kids so turn it around.
She sings so weird. Her jaw is so weird. Let's see what it looks like on this. I think I'm where we're gonna be, but let's take a look at our work real quick, just to see where we're at with this.
I know you got the blues, I know you feel down, but you wanna keep your chin up, kid, so turn it around. I know.
Oh, she's not quite in the right spot because that spot. I'm gonna adjust the spotlight. The spotlight's not quite following the way it's supposed to. See how she's outside of it a little bit? She's falling behind it. Yeah, it's okay. But I'll fix that later.
I know you got the blues, I know you feel down, but you wanna keep your chin up, kid, so turn it around. I know.
Okay. So, in the time that we worked today, these last couple of hours together, we've accomplished about, what we can see happen in about 18 seconds or less. A progress that you make wherever you're at is going to be small, and if you measure it day by day, it will seem insignificant. But as you can see, all the work that we've done over the last couple of years is adding up together, so we can see all these things happen. And so, that's just something that you've got to know. Like, you're not going to see the results right away. You're not going to think that you're making any progress until you get enough progress done that you can look back over the time that you've put in, right? And so I would just encourage you to keep going on whatever it is that is more loving and more kind to yourself, and then increases the loving kindness into the world around you too. That's the only thing that we're really asked or expected to do, or that I think that we should do to be making the world a better place. And so I would encourage you to do that in all the places that you are. So thank you for joining me today on this The Joy of Animating, this behind the scenes podcast for Cox in Space. I'm Skip Marazzi, your host and friend, and I hope that you'll check us out on coxinspace.com, coxinspace.com. Check out what we got going on up there. Join the Discord so you can see all the behind the scenes stuff that we have up there. Get involved with the crew by supporting us through Patreon. And liking, commenting, and sharing these videos does help us out a lot too. So if you have some thoughts that you would like to put on there, give us your thoughts. I do appreciate hearing from you, and we'll see you in the next one. All right.